we're going to get back to it. I was just pulling out my chicken. I think, you know, I was in the middle of that. And now I wanted to show you my pot. It's a little bit, it's got this layer of fat on it. And that's what I'm going to kind of take care of next, okay? If you can see it there, it's just a lot of fat. So I wanted to leave that in there so we could talk about how to skim a pot, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead, maybe this is a little better angle here. Angle it down so you guys can see there. And what you wanna do is I'm just gonna use this same cup that I was using earlier, and you wanna get a spoon, and you're just gonna go in completely flat and try and just skim off the fat off of the surface of your sauce. The trick here is to not skim the sauce, okay? Now, notice that I had to let it settle for a little bit. We just kind of pulled the chicken out. I let it settle, all the fat went up to the top, and now I'm kind of pushing it over to one side. Can you see me kind of sweeping over to one side? Let me adjust that camera a little bit better. Boom. And I'll continue doing that. Sometimes I'll light a little flame over this one edge, but now I'm nervous about my camera, guys. Okay, if my camera goes out again, I'd have to restart the video, so just kind of watch for another prompt. And as this kind of finishes up, I'll just keep on skimming that fat from the surface. Remember to keep that spoon flat and kind of corral the fat where you want it to go. If I use a ladle, if I'm doing a big pot, I use a ladle for this, and I just stir the center and all of the fat goes out to the sides. But I can't really get this inner side here, so I like to push it over to the other side. I started to say if you light a little flame over on this side, it pushes the fat over to this other side, to the left, and you can scoop it on up. And I think I got most of the fat out of there. All of this fat, I'm gonna wind up just throwing it into a stock, my next stock. That's all flavor. That's where that's gonna go. I'm not gonna throw that away. Quarantine Kitchen. I even got a little spoonful of sauce. Big deal, it'll go on my next stock. Maybe one more pass. It's getting a little harder to get that off. So we're going to corral some more of that a little bit later on. I still feel something in there. There's a little bit more, it's just onion. Okay, we're going to strain this sauce in a bit. But what I want to do now is start doing a little bit of knife work. I've got a bunch of veggies to cut up, some mushrooms to slice and things like that, and I want to get some color on them. It's going to be another one of those conversations about searing, okay? A hot pan, and we're looking for color. Let's take a look at these grits real quick. They're doing fine. I got them on a lower temp, and they're just cruising along. Let me see. They're just cruising along back here. Nothing sticking. And I don't even know if I want to even try one of these yet, okay? These grits, I'm not used to them being cooked at this point. And I'll tell you, when some pieces are looking very, very white in there, I am a little bit suspicious of trying to taste it yet, okay? When I get more of that, almost a transparent look to those grains, that's when I start wanting to taste this stuff, okay? So I don't even think it's time to mess with trying to taste that at all, okay? But it's nice, it's lump-free, and it's beautiful. I told you I was going to show you this chicken, so here it is kind of kicking back. You see those legs in the background there? I've got a wing up front. One of the wings just melted away into deliciousness into the pot, I think. So I think we lost one to the cause there, but otherwise all of that stuff, the color is insane. I've been smelling this aroma all day. It's just this classic smell that I am so used to with the coq au vin. It's just a beautiful thing. And I got to get going on this, okay? You guys are just sitting here watching me yak about what I'm going to be eating. Let's talk about cooking technique, okay? So I'm going to push these guys to the back. We'll finish that sauce right kind of closer to the end of the process, okay? All right, so I've got a few of these vegetables that are classic, and I'm adding a couple of vegetables to the mix here, okay? So let me kind of go through them real quick. I have got mushrooms, the classic for coq au vin, also Also classic for coq au vin is the garlic too. In fact, I think I'm gonna go grab another clove because I had 3 cloves for this thing. Thyme, another classic for coq au vin and most any other French cooking, right? And then here are all those little pearl onions that I did for this morning, okay? Onions are a vegetable, it's a side, right? A lot of Americans don't really see it that way. And then over on the other side, I am gonna stretch out my vegetation in this dish by adding some parsnip in there and some celery as well, just so, like I said, it's not just mushroom and onion in there. I want a little more vegetable in there, okay? So it's not traditional, but it's Quarantine Kitchen, and I like parsnips. I'm always sneaking them in there. My wife's always like, hey, what's that thing in there? And I'm like, oh, you know, it's that parsnip thing, and she's like rolling her eyes at me all the time, right? I'm always sneaking them in there. So last couple of things, I've got some fresh thyme here. I'm gonna